And I love that freedom that you get when you hear that song and you release that stress for someone. And you allow them to let their guard down and meet people and put them together, or potentially, you know, have someone having one night stand and have a kid out of wedlock. But it's like, it's a part of the job.
It's like, I don't know who you are, but I want to put a baby in you right now.
Exactly. It's like, God, this DJ, oh, you're going to be pregnant tonight. Don't worry about it.
You're all going to be mad at me. God damn it, Chad.
Is this my glass?
Yeah.
Where's the tequila?
Right in your right hand side.
Tequila.
Closer than you think.
Yeah. And then there's OJ in the fridge.
This is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
First drink of the day.
Dave, I want to say something before I forget. Take that sign down because you haven't changed it in 2 weeks.
Fuck it. 3. Yeah. I think it's coming up on 3 weeks.
It's fine.
What are we going to re-talk about it? Try it again.
What it is.
A second take.
Get one of the
this time I'll read it.
Yeah.
It'll be a new subject.
Yeah, Crew gave me one of those for free. They're pretty cool.
That's nice. And I just bought another camera that I want to do for more intentional shots too. Nice. So I brought that with me to show you guys. Can someone pass me the orange juice, please? Yes. Oh, you're so kind.
But yeah,
so nice.
I've been looking at some like more, standard cameras that I wanted to get.
Yeah.
But the one that I finally narrowed down on is like $1,300, and I'm just like, that's not gonna happen.
So
it's expensive.
Yeah.
That's a tax write-off.
It is.
Let me see if I can blow your brains again.
You got
another
another? I'm sorry. You got another cup over there?
Just drink it from the jar.
Tell this fucking.
Sip from the jar.
Drink from the jar.
That's what it's for. That's what
Put the
mason jar
OJ
is.
back though.
I know you're the unfortunate one to sit right there.
No, so. it's my lot in life.
Hold on.
You like that?
Let me see if this can work. One second.
I like to feel useful.
He's like, I can help.
I'm a very important part of the show. Listen, if it wasn't for me,
No, I
people would
don't
get
watch
thirsty.
Dude, it's so good.
Fargo is good. I saw the first season.
So good.
Like it's like there's too much to watch, dude. There's so much fucking shit to watch.
Too much to watch on there.
And it's either I'm already like halfway through The Sopranos, and I took a break off of that, but then now I have to catch up on watching Aquaman, and
do you
the cartoon from the 90s? Or?
No, the movie with James that Wan produced or he directed with Momoa.
So you don't really have to catch up as much as you just have to watch a movie.
It's pretty much Black Panther.
It's gonna take me weeks.
I can see that because ascending to the throne, but I still want to watch it because the Snyder Cut comes out in
the Snyder
10
Cut's
days.
fucking amazing.
Oh god, and he's releasing a black and white version too. So
they're milking it.
yeah,
That's unfortunate what happened to his daughter though, man.
Yeah, it is.
Who's? What's this?
So Zack Snyder was directing the Justice League movie, and about halfway through, his daughter committed suicide, and from combining with that and a bunch of executives fucking with his project, he stepped away from the project, and so who ended up taking Josh Whedon? I think ended up.
And he fucked it up.
And he fucked it
Is
up
this
royally.
Suicide Squad or Justice
League? That's why Justice League was so weird and so like disjointed because Josh Whedon took over and tried to make it more campy and more like his style, and it was very like it clashed very hard. With
the
Zack
ending
Snyder's.
was a weird thing, and then like. Yeah. Superman's lines were really painful. He's like, well, I'm a big fan of truth. And I know a little thing about justice, too.
That's Whedon. Yeah.
What do you like?
Like, you know.
What do you like the most about Earth?
Yeah, that was so campy.
Well, and then it just cuts. I'm like,
yeah.
Plus, it also had his fucking mustache had to get CGI'd out.
Yeah,
because he in his contract for the next Mission Impossible movie he was doing, he couldn't shave his mustache. Yep. So they had to CG it up, but they didn't spend any money really doing it correctly. And in the Schneider cut,
about $20.
Yeah, and so in the Schneider cut, it actually looks really, really good.
Yeah,
and it showed they had a trailer, like a 30-second clip that came out yesterday that showed him taking off in the black suit. And I was like, yes! Because that's like really cool Superman lore for when he died in the comics. which
and
is
he
like
came back with a beard and everything.
Yeah, he came back with a full beard and a black suit.
I mean, wouldn't he, if he's like not dead and his body were to continue functioning, then you'd think his hair would continue growing. He's not going to come out clean shaven with his Clark Kent glasses sparkling.
He went in what was it? It was like it's the same thing that like the Super Saiyans go in when like they get defeated. They go into like a stasis and then they come back even stronger. So that's
like the humble caterpillar.
Pretty much.
Dave, why do you always try to relate thing to Super Saiyans? This is already the second time today.
I mentioned
and
Guy Fieri.
It happens a lot.
That was talking about Guy Fieri though.
Guy Fieri is a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yes. No matter what we're talking about, you'll somehow wrap it back around to Super Saiyan.
I think Guy Fieri is a Super Saiyan form of the lead singer of Smash Mouth.
That would make sense.
So.
Yes. So, guys, what's going on?
What's going on?
Episode 23, I think, of the Mooks podcast, and we are.
You're counting?
Yes, absolutely. And we are joined by fellow entrepreneur, DJ, and college friend Greg.
What's going on?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much.
Yeah, is there a clap emoji for when we have guests?
We can absolutely do that. Yes.
I'm gonna have his babies, yeah. No kids yet. No kids.
Greg, fuck me.
You working on
ma'am,
that?
Calm down.
Get her out of here.
Are you working on that?
What kids?
Yeah.
Oh no,
not yet.
No, marriage first.
There you go. That works.
Okay, we got to keep it traditional.
I wish if my brother had done that, that could have worked out a lot better.
Because then he wouldn't have had kids.
True.
Like, I try to tell people, it's like a lot of people keep are rushing to have families, and I'm like, maybe you should take some time to feel each other out first, like at least 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe get a houseplant before you get a kid.
Yeah.
Raise a cat. See how that goes.
See if you can keep those alive.
Yeah.
And there are other examples of people who get married right out of high school, and they're married 60 years, and it works.
Yes.
But it's a hit
But
and
an
miss.
example post 1980 though.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I want to
My
say.
parents knew each other since the 3rd grade.
I wish we
There
would
you go. Okay.
we would take in the factors of back in the day, you didn't have social media and all these other distractions in your face.
Yeah.
You were kind of constricted to who was physically in a 50 to 30 mile radius of what you could see and run into. Okay.
Right.
And then if you met someone that was kind of compatible at that point, you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm shooting my shot. Just boom.
Yeah.
Hit
Yeah.
it. Got
Options
myself
limited.
a wife. This is great.
You had to move quick. Because you had one chance. The chances of you seeing somebody again
Was slim.
If it was random, if it was a random encounter and you hit it off, you're like, man, yeah, I know it's only been 2 hours, but we should probably get married and have 4 kids.
Exactly.
I feel like people, they used to get married and have kids
Pretty quickly, and I feel like they dealt with things. They dealt with red flags that we would normally be like, okay, that's a red flag. I don't want to do this. Whereas they're just like, oh, okay, well,
That's them.
I mean, the
like-
chances of catching lightning in a bottle twice are insane. So I'm just going to deal with this, and that's where a lot of those abusive relationships probably stem from, is dealing with problems over and over and over again and sweeping them under the rug.
Right. And also the alcoholism.
Back in the day, you meet someone and you're like, oh, I think he's a great guy. And then it's one day you wake up, where's my breakfast? And it's like, oh, my bad, I wasn't feeling well. And then boom.
Yeah. what was that? What were those pills that women in the 50s were popping like crazy as housewives?
Quaaludes,
Quaaludes, something like that.
Quaaludes?
Yeah.
Shit.
It was sort of just the thing just to cope with the stress.
You gotta
and the monotony of it.
And they're talking about rappers today, and they're all drug addicts, which they are.
Yeah. Well, Little Xan was 17 and he fucking OD'd almost, right?
Exactly.
Little Xan is a drug addict?
Yeah. Well,
I
not
thought we were
anymore.
talking about a drug.
Really?
Not anymore. Apparently
The
he
guy named after a fucking
What was he doing?
Apparently he got clean. He was on Tim Dillon's podcast about 8 months ago, and he was talking about trying to at that young of age trying to go to rehab and the withdrawal symptoms and shit. And
Is he going to change his name?
I don't think so. I
I
don't
heard
really
weird.
follow him.
I mean, that would be a great transition going from Little Xan to Little Sober.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Little Nas had
a little fourth step.
Yeah. Little Nas had an interesting transition. Little Nas got tits. So
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
He, did get implants.
He got
Really?
double D implants.
Yeah.
Really?
I did not know
Yes.
that.
Huh. Okay.
Music industry right now is a completely different beast than what it used to be. We literally did you see what happened with Little Uzi Vert? How he had a diamond installed in his forehead?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
That's just kind of. It's like it's strange, but I'm kind of like, it's Little Uzi. He's gonna do what Little Uzi wants at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah, he's got some nice tits. I mean, hey, if you fucking. They were expensive, I'm sure. They looked like they were well done.
Well, that
Congratulations.
diamond was $12 million or whatever.
Yeah,
You got diamond nipples.
He was like, I installed it on my forehead because I was afraid I was gonna lose it. I'm like, then why are you buying a diamond?
Yeah, why would you get it?
Why do you pay to get some pockets put on your pants?
Or just like get hit once, like, pop right there.
Yeah, like what?
Gone.
Now you're just like, all right, what happens if you get jumped one day?
Really, somebody's gonna Thanos your ass and just fucking pluck it out of your fucking
Little
skull.
Uzi. I can see that happening.
He's gonna wake up in a
God,
small
yes.
fucking New Jersey town.
Yeah.
God, WandaVision spoilers. I'm holding off on the last episode of WandaVision.
Me too.
Yeah,
I still haven't gotten to watch
it's
it
really
yet.
fucking good.
It's WandaVision did something with TV that we wish we would see more from other like producers, and that's to get their fans involved with the speculations for each episode.
Yeah.
Like I remember when The Walking Dead first came out, they kind of did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they also had to keep to the comic book series.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, before they had the big diverge and they just started just murdering people for the sake of murdering people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're running out of money.
But with WandaVision, there was this sense of what the fuck was going on that happened in the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
That really had people like, yo, I don't know if I like this, but I don't know if I
Dislike
do
it,
like
yeah.
it or don't.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just more interested to see what the fuck is actually happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And with the homages to the old sitcoms like I Love Lucy and things of that nature, the Brady Family, all that stuff was just like, hey, I grew up on that too, so I'm instantly at least intrigued to keep watching.
Yeah.
Okay. And to pay homage and appreciate at least someone taking care and taking that extra effort to present something in a way that shows that they actually care.
Right.
Okay. And plus they got Disney money, so they can afford to care.
Right.
Exactly. They can write the check. It
Yeah.
just depends on what direction they want to take it in, and really just being able. And since it's dealing with like not magic. Well, yeah, technically magical forces. You can go interdimensional. You can break fourth walls. You can do all sorts of
Yeah,
crazy
they break
shit.
a lot of fourth walls in that.
Yeah.
Or there's a lot of instances of them breaking the fourth wall. You can't. There's only one fourth wall that can be broken.
Right.
let me clear that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a fantastic show. I personally am happy about the resurgence of Paul Bettany's career.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he's a fantastic actor who, I don't know if he got snubbed or blacklisted or said the wrong thing to somebody.
I don't know.
Who knows? But his career was like non-existent for a little while there.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah, and then he goes in, he does some voice roles in fucking whenever Iron Man 1 was, and now
Yep.
yeah,
Well,
now he's got his piece of the mouse's pie.
Yeah.
Yep.
The sweetest pie there is.
He's like, I'm back, baby.
Also, the guy from who played Saul in
Bob Odenkirk.
yeah, the guy who now he had Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And then now
Yeah.
he's got another TV show coming out where he's like a former hitman that is like trying to live the family
I did
life,
see
and it
that.
like breaks bad, like it sort of becomes like a more
Breaks bad
sitcom-y,
weight.
sort of like a sitcom-y John Wick,
Yeah.
and it looks really really cool. I'm excited to see that, and he's got like another show coming out
Just
too.
this Family Guy gets cancer. Craziest shit I ever saw.
It's
Damn it! Wait, we did this one.
it's really intriguing to me that like we went through all this dramatic slowdown with COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. And Disney was able to first launch a streaming service, even though they launched it kind of early and only had The Mandalorian, but now this year they're like, we're gonna hit you with hit after hit after hit after hit.
Yeah.
And also the one thing I really want to talk about that show is that there's no other show that has the amount of like budget
Yeah,
and for it to look that good. It's the best looking TV show ever.
Yeah.
Really
Like there's
well produced.
that's literally like like Disney is just flexing about how much money they have.
And Bill Burr is like they pull random actors out.
Yes.
And like Bill Burr all of a sudden is like insanely good. Like people think it's like, oh, he's just getting like, getting a minute to like just enjoy himself and have a little bit of fun. But he's actually a good actor. Like and not in the first time he was in there, it was just like a fun kind of like crazy prison break kind of feel. But then the second episode comes out, which is like the second to last episode. And you see his actual acting.
There's a lot of depth in that.
Depth in that character, and he really pulls that off. And that you can see it in his eyes. I'm like,
that monologue was pretty chill. And that's like I was watching, and I'm like, I knew it was Bill Burr, but I'm like, this is not the Bill Burr I know.
Yeah, this is like dark Boston,
like the town or something.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god,
I feel like actors have a really hard time breaking out of a role once they become successful.
It can be. You can be like streamlined into that. Like
it's really easy to fall into a niche, like Megan McCarthy, who I think personally has great acting chops, but she's just the silly, reckless fat woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
Who's Megan McCarthy? She's some wacky politician, isn't she?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I meant Melissa McCarthy. But that's what I mean. She's basically typecast, even though I'm sure she could probably do more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, even look at Adam Sandler, his roles that he does dramas are insanely good. Like Uncut Gems was really good.
Oh my God.
A fucking hard movie to watch.
The one that he did with Philip Seymour Hoffman
So uncomfortable.
was really,
but
really good.
The tension was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tension in Uncut Gems is a fucking nonstop.
But like, I never even could, like, he's got those goofy comedy movies, and like that, I really don't enjoy like watching like those now. I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's for like a 13-year-old, it'd be hilarious. But like if you watch like the ones that he's getting more serious into, like The Cobbler, or I can't remember the name of the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman, but it's like he's really fucking good, and like he's got Oscar nominations now to the point it's like this guy can really fucking pull that off. It's a shame that sometimes, like you said, actors can be just put into like a niche. And you don't really get to see them really branch out. Like, who's the guy who lost a bunch of weight from Remember the Titans?
He was the guy who was called. Nah, he wasn't Sunshine. He was a bigger, heavier set guy.
Yeah, not Sunshine.
Like
Sunshine was the California boy.
He's like he's a bodybuilder now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I gotta find. I gotta look up Remember the Titans cast.
Yeah, but I know you're talking. He lost. His transformation was amazing.
Yes.
And
Ethan Suplee.
Yeah.
Ethan Suplee. Yeah. Yes, dude. I mean,
What is it?
Ethan Suplee. He lost 280 pounds. He was 550. Now he's 255, and he looks fucking shredded.
He's kind of like me. So like,
wow.
I'm a big.
Looks like a new person.
I'm a big guy.
Yeah.
Like, and like my weight is around 290. But I don't look.
You don't look like that at all.
I don't look like I'm 290
Right.
at all. I just have really big thighs, and like I have really big muscles on my body.
Right.
So like
Right.
when I went and talked to a trainer, and we did my BMI, they were like, "Crap, bro! Like you're only like 21% body fat."
Yeah.
It's like if you got down to like below 10, you will be like chiseled, but at like 220.
But like,
Right.
yeah, but getting under 10 is so hard.
Yeah.
Like I'm at 12 right now, and I've been like trying to cut and do a little bit more. It's fucking difficult because once you get to that point, it's really hard to get that last bit of fat off, and you start losing muscle mass.
Yeah.
Because you have to be able to eat the right amount and get everything just dialed in perfect. And I'll see guys online who have like 6% body fat, and they
it's
look
easy.
shredded as fuck.
But they're like dying.
You just be born with a great metabolism.
That's true. That is true.
Very simple.
Yeah. But
I
like
mean, that's how my brother is, but
Well,
he
Matt,
does.
yeah.
Because
My
he
sister's-
eats at like a scientific level sometimes.
yes, like I see he's got dedication there.
Yeah, that's
and
the thing.
he
He's been
pushed
dedicated
himself.
about it. It's not like it's a hobby for him, I guess. Really.
Or it's like a lifestyle.
Yeah,
like
it's a
that's
lifestyle.
He incorporated it. Like for me, I decided that like 2 years ago, I was like 180, and it was all like skinny fat, like where it was like really flat here, and then I had like a little belly. And I was like, this is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
And so I decided it's like, hey, I'm gonna do something about it, and I started just getting into the gym and finding a way to enjoy it because I always hated working out. And then I found a program that really gave me the stability and the structure that I enjoyed. And it was more focused on, instead of just trying to like get big, it was more like, let's get strong and in shape first. And then you gain size over time by putting on muscle mass in the right places. And I started doing that, and I lost like 15 pounds immediately. And then I started building back up. So now I'm a lot less body fat, but now I'm at 175. I'm almost at my original weight, but it's a completely redefined weight. So it's getting there, and it's just really like I'm enjoying it now. I fucked up my thumb though yesterday, real bad. You do the lateral raises where you go up with the dumbbells and you come back down. I went back down in my final one, and I ran out of energy, and I just thought I could just bang the 2 dumbbells together. You know exactly what it means.
Yep.
Fucking dumbbell comes right on my thumb, and it's like swollen.
I can see that.
So it's not
Sucks.
fractured or anything?
No, it's just bruised. Like, it doesn't hurt bad, just a little sore. But I can tell, like, you know that feeling when you're about to black out from pain, just from like a finger or something. You're just like, oh my God. I had to sit down on the bench, and I was like sweating.
You just be like, you're just dry heaving like,
I was like, it's like that scene from Family Guy, and Peter's on the ground with his knee.
That exact thing. That shin knock happened to me the other day when I was helping Goose move.
Oh God, what'd you hit it on?
Just some table.
Table.
It stopped, and my shin went forward and then smacked, and I fell on the ground. I asked God if this was what death was.
Take me now.
Yeah, I asked him what I had done to offend him. So
Yeah, I have scars on both my shins from the floats at our warehouse. From when if you bump into something and it stops, and your shin goes right into a metal corner, and it hurts like hell. Oh. But yeah, dude, you came here with a few topics in mind that you really seemed very passionate about. And I've seen you talk to multiple people in your. What is the series that you do with people? You had episode 2 here.
So
what is that series called?
So on my Instagram, which I'll probably start a YouTube, maybe like whenever I work up the energy to do it.
Yeah.
And transfer that stuff over to there. So I have a few little series or IGTV series that I have on my Instagram page. The first one is called Real Conversations, and that's the one that we were on. And it's pretty much I reach out to individuals who are doing things within the community. I come up to either go to their house, or we come to my place, or go to a discrete location. I press record, and I just have a conversation about them, about a topic that I feel like would be very beneficial, hearing their point of view. Okay. Right. Because when you talk to people who have actually like done stuff, like who have like, let's say someone who has created something from scratch, like a multimedia marketing company, and they've been in business for 7 or 9 years, you understand that they've seen and they've experienced a lot as an entrepreneur that most people don't have an opportunity to hear and get inside of their head and see where their ideologies lie when it comes to both work ethic and how do they use their time, things that they find valuable, books that they're reading, like how do they continuously recharge themselves to keep creating and keep putting themselves out there.
Right. The last one you had was with like a fashion designer, right?
Yes. So Andrea Serrano is one of my mentors.
Right.
And she is phenomenal. Let's just say this. You hear when people say, yo, I'm like a sponge. I just take in everything. And she is a literal sponge. All right. She is... there's not a title that I feel like she can't do. Okay, other than tech, she kind of sucks at that. But like we're helping with that part. But when it comes to producing, bringing people together to put on an event, she is super well connected. She is such an easy person to work with, and such a joy to work with too. Yeah. And also on Thursday, we'll be helping out, and she helps out every year at the Lung Cancer Association. There's like a show that they put on every year. I think either every year or twice a year to raise money for lung cancer. Okay. And they pretty much like dress up as other celebrities, and they have a lip sync contest to raise money.
Oh, okay. Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. Nice.
So it's just like other public figures who have businesses who are well known. They come out, they raise money throughout the year, they sell tickets and things of that nature. And then at the end, they announce who won it, but they also announce how much money was raised and how much it is going to be going to the Lung Association.
Very cool. Very cool. When does this take place?
This takes place on Thursday. We're going to get there at 4, but I think it starts at 7.
So this will be this Thursday?
This Thursday.
Yeah, so unfortunately we'll have missed the
cut off.
Yeah.
But it's good to still be able to talk to promote that stuff.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is we're spreading awareness, and we're also getting other people like yourselves involved and understand that there are a lot of things that people do to raise money for charity and for profitable things that can help and benefit people who are affected by like blood cancers, lung cancers, and other type of diseases too. But yeah, like she's just a beast,
and that requires like a very like intricate network to pull stuff like that off. Like the big thing that Chris from Reforged has been really good at doing is going out every week. Every Tuesday, he goes to this thing called Tech After 5, and he networks with people, talks to people, sort of gets in line. So when by the time that we're ready to pull the trigger, we've got like 7 or 8 people that we're like, hey, I can provide the network, like the internet that you guys need to go. I can provide the equipment that you guys hear. I've got the bar set up right there. And so that's been hugely instrumental. And for the podcast, what we've been doing, I started reaching out to different groups that are like different from like comedy groups or podcast groups and starting to like talk to them and getting tips and stuff from them and figure out like, okay, this is how you can market a podcast on TikTok. You know, all of a sudden something that I thought was just a joke that, you know, people would just watch for like a binge, you know, flip for hours. Yeah. All of a sudden we can post one little video and get like a couple hundred, you know, views on it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Like that's something that you can just make. It's like a minute clip. Yeah. And if you can condense something, like I can condense like a 5-minute bit that we did to 1 minute. Yeah. And trim the fat off, add a little like tune to it and some hashtags. And all of a sudden you're just like, boom, you can have something that can actually take off.
I think it's pretty easy to make, play with the effects on the app too.
Tons of filters and weird shit like that.
Yeah,
and
filter us up.
Yeah.
I want the one with the like crown of flowers and sort of lightens right.
I just want to be a raccoon. I just want a raccoon filter. If they can put that in,
okay.
Then TikTok, I'll definitely sell my soul and be on the platform.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of your footage would look really good on TikTok too, because like you do a lot of like over the head shots, like where things that are like almost like a fishbowl effect. Yeah. And so you've got your music going on, you're walking around. I saw like yesterday you posted some guy, he was covering Biggie. And I was like, that was pretty cool.
So that's another thing that I'm doing on my channel. So I have the Real Conversations piece that, again, it's just having I wanted to bring in the focus on 2 people who do things, just exchanging information and building off of each other's experiences and presenting that to people who may find value into hearing that conversation. And then the next thing is that I never wanted it to be long. So the last one was around 23 minutes or 22 minutes, but I'm trying to keep them 20 minutes or less. I want to be like, you know, very considerate of everyone's time. Yeah. Because most people don't have, you know, a lot of time to dedicate to watch a bunch of videos and stuff these days. Especially if you're competing with like, you know, other famous celebrities and they want to hear what they have to say. But the other series I have on there is called We Create Never Hesitate. And that one is just like the majority of the videos on my page where I'm at events. I may be going to see bands. I take little snippets of the band, try to get really unique close-up shots of them. Because within the music industry, I feel that that's a problem, that most musicians don't get footage of themselves. Yeah. Okay. They say, yeah, I'm in a band, but I'm like, okay, I never see you do it. Yeah. I never see you play. So as scary as it is seeing yourself on camera, it's important to have something there that you can use and maybe put up to a highlight reel to submit to a audition and things of that nature. That's unique, that makes it stand out amongst anyone who can grab a regular DXLR or their cell phone camera, plug it up, and point it at them.
Yeah. I'll also add to that, I've had a couple stand-up bits recorded, and I've found that rewatching them has made me find like errors in my show. Yeah. It's taught me a lot about timing, and I can tell the difference between a show I did and then a year afterwards, my timing was so much better that I was able to make jokes that and on paper, a couple of the jokes I told were not funny. And I even ran them by like my friend who's pretty generous with his laughter, let's say. And I did it to him a few times different ways. And he's just like, nah, man, don't do it.
Yeah. Well, it's like even pro stand-up comedians, when they're going to like small spots, they'll bring like one of those tiny little recorders or have their phone on the stage with them so they can go back and listen and they can record
It's important.
and edit themselves.
It's kind of, it's same ideas in sports.
Yeah.
You see
Don't
where
practice.
you make mistakes and fucking, fix it.
Yeah. What's the thing? A lot of these small time people that I see that are trying to like create a brand or create like a movement in their image or what their product is. The big thing that I don't see enough is film or enough even just like media in general. Like I'll see, a guy of mine who's up in Wisconsin. He's trying to do something. I'm like, where are you right now on like your promotion stuff? He's like, well, I'm on Facebook. I'm like, and he's like, well, I'm on Facebook. I'm like, doing what? Like, are you taking still images of like some little machine you're working with and that's it? I'm like, no, dude, you need a camera to show like how you're doing it. And you can put that on Instagram or you can put it on YouTube. You can put it on a million different ways just to generate that. And it may not make money, but that extra like half hour of effort that you put in will allow you to be able to gain momentum. My brother is really good at that, where he's making a fly tying business for like fly fishing. And he's been doing social media stuff since he was like 14. And so he's already, before he even started selling products, he had like a couple hundred people on Instagram. And then by the time he was making his first sale, he had like 2 or 3 big like tackle shops or outdoor shops ready to buy stuff. So he's already making business in Beaufort.
So
that's cool.
That's important, what you just talked about. And that's called building an audience. Okay. Yeah. A lot of people, and it's crazy because it's a good thing because we have a lot of people going into entrepreneurship. But just like we know, entrepreneurship, what was that? Only 1 out of 5 businesses actually succeed.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, our generation's in a position where it's almost necessary because like 30 years ago, you had like a generation that was already out the door on a business and things were taking off. And then you had the opportunity for, the next generation to come in and fill those seats. Yeah. But it's a combination of factors, including that people are living longer and they're wanting to work longer, and combine that with the economic slowdown and this, not just 2020 alone, but especially 2020. Yeah. There's nowhere to go, even if you have a college degree. So entrepreneurship and branching out into things that you didn't even go to school for, but even like stuff that you can take that you learned. Like a lot of stuff that I took from helping make Reforged and this podcast were from like clubs and other classes that I took besides psychology. I use psychology every day with what I do, but it allows like all those experiences help you go out to things like you never even thought you would do. It's crazy.
Exactly. It's just that when people forget about building your audience first and catering to your audience first, and then they just come out with a business, they have a cool idea, they have a cool scenario or show that they want to bring to the world, and then they're like, all right, I did it, I made it, but where are the people?
Right.
And I'm like, well, I commend you for making this cool thing, but who's your customer?
Right.
You only have X amount of people following you, or you've only done a very, very, very brief and short ad campaign. Yeah. All right. You've only considered
a bunch of ambition without any direction.
Exactly.
It's just raw energy. You don't. Yeah.
Like I love that you are putting forth the effort. And you need to keep putting forth the effort, but I need you to make sure that the effort that you're putting in has intent.
Doesn't go to waste.
Yeah. Like if you're doing something with intent, that means you're doing things with purpose. Right. Okay. A lot of people are just doing things and don't understand that everything that you do in this world should have purpose. Okay. Like the main reason why I bought the camera is because I realized the problem was that, yes, I am a DJ. Right. Okay, just like any other DJ that's out here. Okay, yes, I'm good, and I'm a great DJ, just like any other good DJ out here who play music and things of that nature. But I look at their pages and I see just pictures, a few short snippets, but I don't see a lot of content of them showing off their events or them collaborating and working with other people. So I was like, let me take the emphasis of DJ and let me apply that in every aspect in my life. Okay, I had to fully embrace the concept that, Greg, you are a DJ through and through. So not only do I want to DJ music, I want to DJ people too. Okay.
What do you mean by DJ people?
By DJing people,
Build on
I mean by showing and highlighting dope people doing dope shit. Okay.
Okay.
So that's where Real Conversations came from. I wanted to show off dope people that I know, that I meet in this life, that I may have had the luxury to brush shoulders with. All right.
Right.
And I want to show them talking about situations and giving me knowledge of their experience through life. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to the bands, that just happened because I was in the right place at the right time, and I brought up my camera and I started recording bands. Next thing you know, I realized that all the musicians appreciated that, but also all the musicians are also heavily involved with the scene in the area.
Yeah, I mean, Quell's band is really, really good.
Yeah.
And in 2020, they were able to do a live venue outside at the College of Charleston, and they invited us to come and, do it like a post-show interview and record, and that's when I got to test out the camera.
Yeah.
So I got to, their big single, I got to do like a bit of like a shoot for that video where I sort of got to play with the effects of the camera zooming in, going out, doing the bubble and the 360 stuff. And they really like that. They love that. And ever since then, those guys will like every single post that I do, every single thing that we do. They love it. So it's not just a network growth thing, but it's sort of like a interconnectivity of different people just branching out, trying to, enhance each other's endeavors. Yeah. Which really helps.
It's just that when you actually go out and you don't ask for anything in return, and that's why I wholeheartedly believe, as someone who has a pretty good career in what I do, and I make okay money with my DJ stuff too, but I don't chase money. All right. I tell people all the time, now I tell people all the time, why are we chasing? What happens when you chase money? You never find it. Okay. Right. Chase problems. Find solutions to those problems, and people will just throw their freaking house at you if they can, because they're grateful that you at least put in the effort to solve something that no one else wanted to do.
Right.
Okay.
That's what sometimes parents are like, especially my dad, he was born in 1950. Yeah. So when I told him I was doing this podcast, he's like, well, how do you make money with that? And I'm like, well, first off, that's a slow burn. This is something like you have to understand. You have to hit a criteria.
This is an investment.
Do that. Yeah, this is an investment. This can take a while.
Nobody
to go.
wants none of our parents want to hear us call this podcast an investment. But even though, in a sense, yes, it is, because it could take off. But they're just gonna look at it like what a silly, stupid idea you had.
What?
Right. And that's the thing. They compare because that generation is all about put your 30 years into this company.
Yeah, those aren't potato seeds, you idiot.
Get your retirement,
grow a garden, start a lemonade stand, and just fucking pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
And it's so different because nowadays the average person is not in their job for more than 5 years.
Yep.
The average job length for somebody is 5 years before they go on to something better. And I decided that, hey, this was something in 2020 that I wanted to do, is that I took an investment. I took money out of my 401k and I invested it into this. And it's, I had to learn about tax shit. I put an LLC in for this thing. Was able to get money back on my tax return.
Lovely.
God.
Lovely.
Yes. And so I'm perfectly fine with allowing this to grow naturally.
Yeah.
And because if you just just spend thousands of dollars on marketing in the first step, you're going to gain people. You're going to gain Facebook followers, but you're not going to gain longtime fans. Yeah. Because it's artificial for the most part. A lot of it is. Because a lot of people will just click or a lot of people will just click follow or whatever. But making it actually turn into fans that, absorb that content, that's a whole different thing.
That's true.
So for even for YouTube standards, if you just post up a video on YouTube, you're not going to get any fucking views. You're going to get 2 or 3 if you have the right tags. But to be able to put an investment in projecting it the right way and advertising it the right way, boosting it, you will get a trickle of people. Yeah. But eventually your fans will start enjoying what they enjoy most of it, and they'll go towards that. So right now ever since we started incorporating video, our audio downloads have decreased a little bit, but the visual uploads have gone up. Yeah. So it's and you can see that in trends with other podcasts, big podcasts. Yeah. They're getting less audio downloads, but the YouTube views are going up because there's something about that visual aspect that makes it so much better.
And you can monetize it a lot more because like when you're, it's like when you look at a visual podcast, you get the audio and you get to see their expression and how passionate they are about what the hell they're talking about. Like, there's a difference whenever I'm saying like,
what we always
I fucking
say.
love candy.
Yeah.
And I'm like banging my hands on the table versus like,
We really wanted the people to see that Chad's passion. That was one thing we felt was missing. Like, the podcast.
I've
is
got
great.
a lot of it. It's just,
But just like
my
nobody
passion.
can see how much Chad loves this fucking podcast. How he can barely contain himself over there.
I wasn't supposed to be here today.
Calm down. I was like, hey, how do you feel about getting called into the job you don't get paid for?
he's like, God damn it.
I felt bad because
You messaged me when you were supposed to be sleeping.
I was sleeping. I actually called out today.
So you messaged me in your sleep.
I did almost.
You called out today?
Yeah. I had to. I got
Man,
like
sometimes,
Oh, wait, you didn't go to work?
Who's
No.
going to provide the fine city of Charleston
bro.
with their produce?
Dave, you
then?
said you can't call out on a Saturday.
From what I've been...
it was bad. Here's what happened.
Hold on.
let's
From
hear
what
it.
I've been led to understand, if you don't call out of work, the entire company goes belly up.
yes,
I
they
know,
do.
right?
More or
They're done
less.
for the day. They shut down and tell all the companies to fuck off.
burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was
I gotta check the market. You probably caused a tank.
what happened.
The price of vegetables skyrocketed.
I did-
Deliveries no longer
Well, it's
appear.
like I went into work.
Gridlock.
Yeah.
I went into work and I just had a really bad night of sleep. I felt really rough. It's probably just, and my head was all stuffed up and everything too. And so what I did was I went into work and they said, hey, this part of your, like this part right here, actually, we've got you covered on this. You know, so you basically can just sit at your desk all day. And I'm like, well, the only reason I came in today was to do this part. Other than that, because that's not required today, I'm going to call out because I don't feel good. So I went in there and then I immediately walked out. I told the lady there, I was like, listen, not happening
Well,
today.
I mean, dude,
See
if
ya.
you feel like, hey, it's probably because of the drastic change in temperature
Yeah,
over the last
definitely.
few days.
Yeah.
But
In
if
your
I
house.
feel like if you touch like vegetables and shit, and you feel even the least bit feverish, you should definitely not go to work.
Right. And it was no
That's
fever or
true.
anything. It's just over the last couple of days with this temperature change, plus my sinuses and everything, it all just collapsed in one day. And by the time I slept in, time it hit noon, I felt 10 times better.
Yeah.
Because I was able to get more than 2 fucking hours of
Yeah,
sleep.
you might have a sleep debt
Why?
too.
Why is calling out of work a bad thing? I do
Right?
it all the time.
Yeah.
Because there's sometimes where you just log in to work and then you get that message or that IM, and your brain is just everything in your body is telling you, Greg, get off work right now before you lose your job.
Yeah. I do.
Like-
It's that feeling.
I like
yeah.
using calling in as an excuse to see what kind of crazy ass lie I can come up with, and if they'll
Remember
believe
when
it.
you fell down the stairs?
Yeah, dude, that was my favorite. So it's a Friday, and I just
fell
was
downstairs, I
not.
can't go to work.
I don't know what compelled me to do this, but I was working in the restaurant industry, and it was a Friday night shift, and I decided to change my wheel assembly, my hub assembly on my car. Fucking horrible decision. And then I decided to have a beer afterwards because, you know, you just fucking fixed a part on your car.
Yeah.
Second bad decision. So I was just like, nah, I ain't doing that. I'm calling in. And I called. I was like, yeah, I was walking up my stairs and I don't know. I started swatting at a bee and fell down.
Swatted at a bee? I never heard that part of the story.
Yeah, that's
Dude, you realize I was there where we worked at the same place. No one believed you. There wasn't a soul in that building that was like, I hope Evan's okay.
Everyone's just like, yeah, he's totally lying, but let him get this one. Let's let him get one.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
let-
that's the
Don't
food and
worry,
bev industry.
I-
man.
It wasn't
That's
like that. It
all
was more
that.
like this fucking asshole's not coming in today.
I knew it was like that.
The thing is, like,
Fuck
it's
the restaurant industry for that.
Oh, no,
specific
fuck them
reason.
anyways. What are they going to do? Fire you?
Right?
but for me, not calling out
No,
ever, it's
they
a
wouldn't.
combination of two things. First off, it's my own hubris where I always just have this mentality of just like get the job done.
Yeah.
And it's like deal with the consequences later. Sure, you may get 5 hours of sleep every night until Sunday, where you sleep for 12 hours to cover up. But it's also
your mental health may deteriorate to the point that you're snapping at everybody for no fucking reason.
maybe just a little bit.
Sure, you slowly turn to alcohol to cope with the stress and pain of daily life. Sure, it eats on you year after grueling year until you look at yourself in the mirror and you're bald and fat and ugly and nobody loves you anymore.
I don't know, Evan. You kind of
Or not.
Yeah.
Or it could not happen.
We love you, buddy. It's also the fact that our company's right now operating on like a skeleton crew that's missing a few limbs.
Oh yeah.
So
they're
it's
missing limbs.
they trimmed the fat, like they're doing the same thing at my place of employment. Man,
Yeah.
they just like gutted our department just now.
yeah, it's crazy.
It's
but,
crazy.
But
Where do you work?
Nah, bleep.
Never mind then.
Beep.
Yeah.
I work at.
That's
beep.
what we do. That's what I do for my work too when we talk about it. So it's cool. But I'll get that in editing. Don't worry.
No problem.
But
What?
yeah, that's the thing.
Nothing.
That's the thing
you
that
gotta
a lot
look
of these.
somewhere?
That's the thing.
I gotta look somewhere. There's a lot of directions, Chad. Why's it gotta be mine?
all right, I'm fine. This is perfect record. So I work in aerospace. So I work for Boeing.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? You've told me this actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and boy, I mean, this is kind of public knowledge now, but they gutted the company.
I actually heard that. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on, like
but that's happening a lot everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not a surprise, especially a huge place like that.
for me, it was a logical step for the business to do because other technical companies already do it when it comes to offloading
Yeah.
certain aspects of the business that can be done cheaper by sending that to a support or a contracting company to hire off their employees for. Because if you can streamline a process,
All right.
all right, and you can give it to someone else and have it done well or up to a certain standard, but pay them dramatically less, I would do that in a heartbeat if I was the business.
Yeah.
So like for me, when it comes to working for a big company like Boeing, like a global company, okay, that has global problems, which you clearly see, everyone sees them, especially over the last 2 years. You know, I work in a way where I have to make sure that everything I do has value. Okay?
Right.
So not only am I working to ensure that the things that I do have value, I also take on opportunities and positions to elevate and teach me as much as possible because I never know when I could get a call or an email and be like, Greg, it was great.
Yeah.
Been here 6 years, or well, 5 years. Will be 6 years in September. But you've been here for a while. You know, I need you to leave the company in like 5 months. And I'm like, okay. Then now it's back to the job hunt. But now, what did I do with the 5 years I was in the company? Did I just sit on my ass and work a job and did that for 5 years, or did I elevate myself? Did I take as much as they were willing to give me,
Right.
in development opportunities? Which for myself, I did. I was like, all right. I'm entering a space that I've never thought I would be in. Okay, went to school, did all the things right to whatever the standard is.
Yeah.
And I got this great opportunity. Okay. Now, everyone gets great opportunities all the time. Okay, we know this. All right, we see actors get it, we see singers get it, but not everyone takes advantage of the opportunity properly.
Right. And it's the thing, there's a lot of young people that are like basically just going to their job, doing those hours, thinking that that's going to be secure for forever. And then they'll stream out and then they won't think about, okay, this could happen tomorrow and I'm on my ass. That's why a lot of these people that I see that are our age that are doing these side hustles are so much more, not just invested, but proud of their side hustles than they are their 9 to 5. And I'm just like, that's something that I really like because it allows you not only to, like you said, branch out and develop yourself, but it gives you a goal that is more important than what you're doing now. And I think that's super important for anybody because you can always stay safe. You can stay in that order, keep that order. But if you stay too much into order, you're going to fail eventually at some point because that order will eventually just die, you know? But if you have to, but you can't just go completely into the chaos because the chaos will consume you as well.
Yes.
So you have to be able to find that line, to be able to dance on that line between order and chaos, to be able to, once again, keep yourself safe and keep yourself in line, but also to take that risk.
Yes.
Be able to go out and venture into the, basically kind of like, what was it, Sir George, being able to go out and just slay the dragon, you know, save the princess, find the gold, distribute to the people. You have to have that order, which in his case was he was a knight. He had that order. He had that structure, but he was able to venture and he was prepared to venture into that chaos and come back. And once again, if you die in that, it will consume you. But if you come back, you're able to come back with a huge amount of wealth, not just for yourself, but for the people around you. That's why I love the idea of being able to like create something successful that I can not only support myself,
Yes.
but allows the people that I care most about, like my guys,
Yes.
to be able to be like, hey, we're all right. We're going to be all right. It's going to be good.
Are you announcing salaries right now? Is that what's happening?
I will. I want to.
100K a year, huh?
Let's start at 50. That's the main goal.
Evan,
A year?
I'm
Okay,
thinking
fine.
we unionize.
Yeah.
The Mooks union.
Damn it.
Milk this man for everything he owns.
I'm gonna get a lawyer.
It's and in simple terms, he was basically saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, diversify your portfolio.
Yeah.
Do some things that you really want to do, because there's nothing better than making some money or seeing something happen by your own merits and ventures instead of getting it all for a company and doing it for someone else.
But there's so many people, though, that are afraid to do it. They're afraid to venture into that chaos and afraid to venture into something that they know they would like.
Yeah.
But they think that, oh, if I fuck up, it's game over. And that's not necessarily the case. Yes and no. But at the same time, you can't be afraid to go out and fuck up.
Man, let's go into these topics, because that's going to go directly into the stuff we were talking about.
Because you wanted to talk about, your main focus was the idea of, like you said, establishing a relationship, a positive relationship with failure.
Yes.
Being able to, maybe be understanding of what that is.
Yes. And how I want to start this discussion is basically, I want to hear everyone's take on that, okay? Like, what do you believe? Because I have my own take. I'm not saying my take is law. But what do you believe what does that statement mean to you? Building a positive relationship with failure.
For me, that easily, the first thing is like the idea of, I graduated with a degree in psychology. I got a full ride to graduate school. And after my first year, I realized that that's not where I want to be. Academia is not where I want it to be. The bureaucracy of it, the way that the social fabric and the social structure was turning, the social sciences was not something that seemed comfortable or, sane. So I decided to leave and go back to my original job that I had in Charleston. That was a huge letdown, and it was something that I thought that it was game over, because I basically spent all this time and money going into trying to get to graduate school to do all this, and for that to turn into something that I was afraid that was just basically game over if you fuck up there. But then I sort of realized that, hey, that's something that if I was meant to be there, that's where I would be right now, or I would be 10 years down the road.
A destiny kind of guy, huh?
Yeah, but now what I've realized is that I have to establish that, hey, it's okay that I had to burn that bridge there, because now I can use what I burned to create a fire over here, and to be able to understand, like, hey, you're gonna be introduced to failure a lot. So like every time that Reforged was trying to like build something, all of a sudden, this guy who was going to invest a bunch of money decides that, hey, by the way, I want like 80% of the company. Like, no, that's not happening. So Chris immediately says, it's going to take longer. Okay, great. All of a sudden, we've got a space, 8,500 square feet. We're all set to go. All of a sudden, 2020, COVID. We can't open up a place where it's meant to have a bunch of people in a place where they say, hey, you can't have a bunch of people in. Yeah. So, okay, great. There's another year fucking gone. But it's understanding that, hey, this is something that not only happens in business, but in life. And you have to understand that your failures can't define you, but you have to take them and embrace them and to turn them into something that you learn from and can build better from. For me, that's what, when you first sent that to me, that's what sort of went through my head, is taking your failures and not being afraid to understand that that's not the first time you're going to fail. Yeah. And it's definitely not the last time you're going to fail, and you will fail a lot. But being able to go forward from that and understand. That's my sort of interpretation of it.
Who's next?
Chad.
Well, I wanted to ask you real quick. Yeah. Where was this building? Are you guys still looking at the same building? Is it available?
It was purchased throughout over 2020 by a huge company, and they're gonna take that part of the building and the other parts of the building and make it into something like a furniture store or some shit.
Another one?
Yeah.
God,
Goodwood's opening up somewhere else.
I will take it. I will take for the fact that 2 minutes up the road from there, the GameStop or the Game Store opened up.
The Game Store?
They sell a bunch of video. They're basically a store. They sell a bunch of like video game stuff,
old video games,
old school stuff, and new school stuff.
It's a retro game.
Yeah, but it's really cool. They have a lot of like anime stuff there as well. it's a really cool spot. And
Didn't they get broken into not so long ago?
that was the place in Somerville. So
Okay.
we did an event last night at Players Place with a Mario Kart event, and Ricky, who is one of Brian's friends, the guy at Reforge, he actually is the manager at the game store on Rivers Avenue. Great guy. About a month ago, he saw that the door was fucked with, and someone tried to get in. So what most likely happened is that they tried to go into that place, couldn't get in, and then they went to the spot in Somerville,
and got in
which
there.
is like the other game store, which has a bunch of Pokemon cards and a bunch of like comics and models. They busted into it, took all the Pokemon cards, a whole bunch of like stuff that's pretty valuable for that culture, and they lost thousands of dollars. It was so bad. I saw the list of Pokemon cards that got stolen, and they were writing the values down next to it. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And you don't even know if insurance is going to cover that.
Yeah.
Because that is not really, that market isn't really as applicable in insurance-wise.
Because for insurance, they were like, oh, it's a card. So they'll look up the regular price for Pokemon cards and give them like $10.
For a $2,500 card that came out in the first movie in a movie theater that you could only get there. And it's like, oh my
That's
God.
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you could see like the what they wrote down, like the
I
one.
should go there with my fucking cards because I have a good portion of the original 150, and I should see if they try to hustle me.
You got holographs.
I should be like, hey, my brother left these to me, and you know what I mean? And just be like, I don't know, I don't really know what they're worth. Like, are these worth anything? And see what he does, and then just got you. I got you.
Well, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to send them into this place to get them rated.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know, like,
and if you do that, the value of them.
I mean, I know for certain
Yeah.
because I personally collected the cards, but as for their like quality grade, there's some there's some that are mint and there's some that are a little frazzled, but none of them are like, except one I found the other day that had a goddamn bite taken out of it. An honest to God fucking chunk of the corner.
You had to make sure it was real.
My question is, who the hell is the person who vets these cards? He's like, yeah, man, I get paid like $100K a year.
He does not get paid $100K
a year. People just send me their cards. I look at it. This card is worth.
It's probably the
$5
company.
grand.
It's probably some affiliate of the company.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's some organization that does
Giovanni
that with
from
collectibles.
Team Rocket.
Yeah. It could be.
He lets this Persian sniff him,
Yeah.
and if he's like, yeah, it's good.
That's a good card.
Rick from Pawn Stars knows the guy.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's who he knows.
All right, guys, who's next?
Chad,
Which
what
one
you got for us?
Chad.
What was the question?
What is your interpretation of establishing a relationship with failure?
A positive
relationship with failure.
Yes.
Well, as somebody who has to play a lot of video games with Dave, I have to accept and be positive with a lot of failure that I can't stop.
Not even your own failures.
No, not even my own sometimes.
Elaborate, please.
Motherfucker. When's the last time I severely disappointed you in a video game?
I've personally heard the phrase "greediest gamer alive" thrown around.
Greediest gamer alive.
How am I greedy?
Okay, prime example.
Okay.
Deep Rock Galactic, a game where you literally share 100% of the loot. You run forward, try to collect loot faster than everybody for God knows why, only to A, get disconnected from the team, get yourself killed, get one of us dragged away from the other team to revive you. Get that. You know what you did. You know what you did. I have recording.
I was waiting.
David, is very hard to be a team player.
You also forgot the times that I play the engineer and I set the charges at the fucking escape pod, and as you're coming up, I'll set them up.
No, I didn't forget them. They're just so minor on your list of travesties.
Jesus Christ. And I play Deep Rock Galactic.
Here's the worst thing.
God.
You haven't even hopped on Valheim in a couple days. Last time you hopped on Valheim, you grabbed my healing potions and logged out.
That is true. Now, yesterday,
it's a constant disappointment.
Yesterday,
he gets on just to grieve people.
Dude, I swear to God, he's got the whole base looks beautiful. I put stone walkways. Right to the left is some monstrosity with no roof.
It's true. Now, I completely meant to log on yesterday, but the fact when I said, dude, I just sat down, let me get going, was when I was starting to feel like shit. and I was like exhausted. So and I had to go to
I'm
Player's
just busting
Place.
your chops.
Oh
I really
no,
don't care.
no, trust me. Like, and I literally was sitting in Player's Place thinking, "Fuck, I have those health potions still. God damn it."
I was talking about
That's
it.
all right. I made more.
I was saying it like every 20 minutes. I'd see a health potion. I'm like, man, it'd be really nice if I had 6 more of those.
God.
Well, there's 5 because I did use one to see what it was
For
like.
what?
Because I was at very low health and I just wanted
He
to see.
used one.
In the base? Eat some fucking
Yes.
honey.
Well, no, all I wanted to see was the effect.
No.
I just wanted to see the effect.
It's colorful.
So, Chad, what is? So that's what you got for me?
Yeah, that's what he got for us.
Okay,
Thank you, Chad. I love
Evan,
that.
Anytime.
what is your interpretation of that?
Oh man. I guess obviously there's the inherent like failure is the first step to success.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I think
Read that
like
somewhere.
success itself is something that is almost unattainable because no matter how much you have of it, you're always craving more of it. And so I feel like personally I've failed as a chemist, as an engineer, as a criminal, as a chef, and I'm currently failing as a comedian.
Pause. How do you fail as a criminal?
You go to jail.
What do you mean?
They catch you.
I thought that was like a part of like the statement of being a criminal.
No,
is that you
because
eventually get caught.
because when
No.
you're
Isn't that how
then you become an inmate.
I mean, I thought
no
that's
longer
how
a
you
criminal.
I
get.
succeeded at that one because
I
I,
thought-
stopped being an inmate at some
I
point.
thought that's how you get street cred. It's like, yeah, I've been to jail a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they know you're bad at what you do.
All right,
It's
keep
like
going,
this
my
guy's
bad.
this guy's got a low rate of success.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do jobs with this guy.
But I feel like even though I failed like those things, like I didn't really fail them as much as I've learned they weren't really my interest, and I've learned different things from all of those things I failed at doing.
But you are a
know?
good comedian. Like there's like you have.
I
an
know that was
opportunity.
just kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what me in the comedy business call a joke.
Ah. Okay. Well, the thing, dude, I've been looking up a couple spots for like stand up and stuff, and there's a few in Charleston.
I got material, but here's the thing, and I've often explained this before. A lot of stand-up comedians that do bits like mine, like 6 to 10 minutes, will reuse their same jokes because they're trying to polish their good material
Yeah.
for their one chance at the stars that's
Right.
never coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
I like to come up there with fresh material each time. So, like, hopefully, if I'm going up there on stage, I don't want to do a joke that I've told in a previous set.
Yeah.
You know, so it's hard to come up with the material for that.
Well, it's the thing. What I've seen from guys is that they'll do like the same. Like if you get a 5-minute spot, right?
Yeah.
They'll go to a 5-minute spot there, then they'll do a 5-minute spot there, and then they'll do a 5-minute spot there, and they'll get that joke down to what they know would kill. Like they polish it off to where it kills.
No, and
then they'll do another 5 minutes here, here, and here, and then when they finally have 15 to 20 minutes, they've got 20 minutes of
Also,
killer
those
material.
guys got a lot. Like, it's hard for me to get up on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I have
yeah.
huge social anxiety, so getting up
Like-
on stage is like hard enough as it is.
So what?
Yeah.
So
So
since
I want
we're
to make
talking-
sure my shit is perfect when I go
So
up
when
there.
if we're talking, since we're
I can
talking
see
about
that.
failure, would you mind telling us the story about like the one set you had where you were dealing with like the paper?
So I have what's called the perfect mix when I do comedy. It's the perfect mix of being drunk and high.
That little
And
cocktail.
There's
Yeah.
there's right there the golden area where I am just, it's fluid.
right.
It's like if who's, God, I can't think of the guy's name, and that's so
Describe
fucking
it.
bad. I forget it.
Okay.
Anyways, so basically, what was supposed to happen was my friend Vinny, who's going to be on the show in the future, coming up.
Yeah, Vinny Freeman.
Yeah, he was supposed to go up and rap right before my set. Or he was supposed to go up and then there was a person between us and then it was supposed to be my set. Right. So he was up doing his set and I was going to like smoke one last time before
You went on.
I went on, and I ended up like getting rushed, getting mistimed, like fucking definitely wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Tried to do a joke where I was gonna pull a note out and read it off and be like, "Oh no, that's my shopping list," but like, you know, it's something. It could have been okay, but it definitely wasn't going okay the way I was like,
shaking.
And I had to walk off and be like, I'm so sorry, I suck. Fucking, please don't throw things at me. Good night.
I think it was like,
yeah, it's fucking one of the most humiliating moments of my life.
Well, everyone has
none.
that bomb, dude. Because I
know you
I've
got,
done
but
live
that's the
stuff.
thing.
Get it out of the way
If
quick.
you're even if you're gonna get into this shit, if you're gonna put yourself out like that, you gotta be ready to suck.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've done live shows with my guitar and singing and stuff where I've been either been with people or done it solo. I've had nights where it killed. I had one night at Coastal where I killed, and like 6 months later, I did a spot and and I bombed.
Yeah,
like
dude.
because I didn't notice that
It ebbs and
half a
flows
step down.
very-
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that I was flat until I stepped off and my friend showed me on the phone. I was like, oh my God, it sounded so fucking bad. And I literally, it turned me off of going, like, performing
It
for
does.
months.
Yeah,
and
it
it
does.
like, but if I did that now, if like when I was like, that happened to me when I was like 20 or 19. If I had done that now at 28, I think I would be more prepared for that because I've been like, okay, I get that it happens. Let's fucking roll your sleeves up and get ready to go do it again. I think now that I've matured, it helps a little bit more.
I think maybe I'm not gonna say that it's an answer to the problem,
Right.
because most people live majority of their lives and they never learn the importance of failing and building that positive relationship.
Right.
Okay. Like Chad understands. Wait, you're Chad,
I'm Chad.
and then you're
Evan.
Evan. There we go. Fuck.
And you're Dave.
I'm Billy Bob Ford.
That's right. From
Evan,
Fargo?
So Evan understands the importance of putting himself out there because he had to start to develop a use case where failure is an option. Okay?
Yeah.
Because every time you step up on stage as a stand-up comedian, especially like at the level he's at,
Yeah.
like it can either go really well, okay, or complete shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Then in
And-
that case, it's almost necessity. Failure
Yes.
is almost a necessity at
Yes.
that point because you're burning. It's almost like you're debating someone and you're like you understand that you've been proven wrong on something. You burn away the dead wood to make room for more growth.
I would
Yes.
hate to have killed every amateur set I did, get a comedy show on Comedy Central,
Yeah.
and just have
Bomb
it
it.
bomb and then just be a subject of ridicule by Daniel Tosh for
And
the
that's-
next 10 years.
and that's what happened. And that's what happened to Amy Schumer. Where she did
exactly.
really well. She did
You
really good
can't fly
spots.
too close to the sun. And I think
Yeah.
that also brings back to what we were saying about like falling into your niche. People always want me to do like jokes about jail and fucking like, getting fucked up. But it's like, I don't want to fall into the
trap.
that trap
Yeah.
because people are like, oh, what are you talking about? That rehab comedian's funny. I'm like, oh yeah, what's his fucking name?
Yeah, but that's
Like you don't know the man's name? That ain't what I'm going
And
for.
the thing is, though, like I've seen your bits where like the funniest bit that you had was the one where you were talking about the urinal, like about like some.
That's the one I was talking about
Yeah.
that isn't funny unless I timed it perfectly.
It was so fucking good, and like the ones that I laugh my ass off aren't those jokes, and it's like even the ones that like you do on the podcast, you could. There's several bits that you've done on the podcast you could take on stand up and fucking murder. with.
Yeah, probably.
But like like I said with Amy Schumer, I think she's funny, but like she ascended to fame so quickly, and they gave her an hour-long Netflix special, and she was not ready for the fact that 80% of her fucking material was talking about her pussy and like how much she like is a slut and like giving head and shit. I'm like, first off, you want even at like the 30-minute mark, her audience wasn't even laughing at the set, which means that when she was touring, she recorded at that spot and chose to run that material because that's the best she had.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you weren't ready. Like it's fine. And then there's other stand-up specials on Netflix that aren't that good, but like there's other ones that fucking are amazing.
Well, I think being able to like, you got to know what you can't have a set. You can have your jokes that you're definitely gonna tell, but there's some jokes that you got to be able to nix right then and there if your crowd is just not that crowd. And there's been crowds that aren't that crowd. There's crowds I've told about, parallel parking and a trick is just not being a woman. And some crowds found it hilarious. Some crowds found it not so fucking hilarious.
Out of college.
You're like, let's not change.
That one's actually funny though, because your timing on that was hilarious in recording.
It's like let's not tell this joke at the Women's March.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Know your audience.
But
Right.
but I like that you brought it up because when you speak of the things that you deal with, putting yourself out there, going up on stage as a comedian, it's very similar to how artists put themselves out there.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially like as a DJ, like knowing how to read your crowd, knowing how to adjust. It's super important as a musician,
Right.
as a DJ, especially as a comedian, because if you don't know how to pivot, whenever you see a situation going like left,
Right.
like sometimes like you're bombing and some people can recover from a bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. And that itself is a skill that you can only accrue through failure.
Through time and just putting in the hours.
Okay.
And
No,
your
he's
set- and your
right.
sets.
Through you only can turn because the first time you bomb, you're not gonna have the like wherewithal to turn it around.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that.
So like,
But I give a lot more respect to people. Like most people who get up on stage and perform with singing and their bands and rapping say, "Oh, I can't believe you do comedy. That's so hard." And I'm like, absolutely fucking not. What you guys do is hard. Writing your own music and shit and all that, and like DJing too, because like you said, you control the flow of a crowd. I've seen what a crowd with a bad DJ looks like. When 60 people just ain't feeling it and are doing this, versus when 60 people are fucking bumping is a totally different.
so for you, what is a crowd like? What kind of crowd cues do you look for besides people's activity that sort of helps you sort of find a jive to this?
So I feel like for every DJ is different.
Right.
Because
and the venue's different, like from weddings to clubs to parties and shit.
so first it all depends on what my setting is.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the night I'm DJing at Folly Beach at the Irish Pub downstairs.
St. James?
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you guys want to come out tonight,
that might.
Me
tempting.
and Morgan are going out tonight, so
Okay.
come down. It's gonna be
man.
It's gonna be a blast. 10 to 2 a.m.
she loves that place. So
Yeah, it's a Irish bar on the
10 till
beach, dude.
what was that? What was
It's
that?
heaven.
What was that closing hour there?
Yeah. Thank you, McMaster. He also lifted the
2
mask mandate
o'clock.
yesterday.
Yep.
Which,
2 o'clock.
which
they
by means
lifted.
like if you.
I'm still wearing my mask.
Well, that's the thing. You're
I'm
an
an
individual in a business.
anti-mask.
Evan's gonna
Yeah.
have 2 of them on.
Yeah. Now I'm doubling down.
I'm sure there's plenty of businesses and stuff that are going and Charleston has every right to have their locality because local supersedes state.
Yeah.
But like, you know, there's individuals now, like restaurants no longer require at this recording in South Carolina to have masks in restaurants. Yeah. And there's more and more states that are doing that. There's 19 states that don't have statewide mask mandates, but there's still localities and individuals. Once again, individuals are most important that choose to, which is great.
Yeah, businesses can always make their own
That's
decisions
the thing.
anyways.
Exactly.
You can choose to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
People can choose not to shop with you.
Target
That's
already
fine.
came out. Target came out and said, hey, you know, for a while, we're going to still require masks, no matter what state we're in, which is perfect, which makes sense because they're a department store that where people stand in lines.
Nationwide.
Right. And even though they're in, like, they even do social distancing with the lines, like the 6-foot thing, it's still like, we've got a ton of people in here, and there are days that we're packed. So we want you to make sure that, you know, we're safe. And that's perfect. That's great. That's great that you can actually still, like, do that as a independent business or an individual. Like I said, individual is the most important.
My take is that it's a social responsibility for every American to protect themselves and the people around them.
Right.
Everybody's got an individual.
If you choose not to, I respect your choice not to. Just respect my choice and stay at least 6 feet away from me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's it.
I got a buddy who works with somebody who's got diabetes, and he chooses just not to go out to like social situations.
Yeah.
And he's gone out to a few bars with me and make sure to sit
Away from people.
Away from
Like
people.
Chris hasn't left his house really in a long time because his mom has health conditions. Like one of our biggest fans, Sam, has been stuck in his house with his mom since pretty much March of last year because his mom has MS, I think.
Ooh,
and so like if she gets it, it's a real fucking trouble thing.
That's the
So
thing,
he
it's
has
like-
to do online classes. He has to, I don't know what he does for work, but I think he spends the majority of his time in his house still. And even as millions of people are now going out, he can't until he gets vaccinated. And since he's 22, I think right now, he's near the fucking end.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things is like people need to realize like doing this is not an infringement on your rights.
That's
it's
true.
kind of like taking into consideration the less fortunate is the sign of a great civilization.
Yes.
Not doing that is the exact it's the thesis of a nation on decline.
Right.
When
And-
the people give more of a shit about themselves than they give a fuck about everybody else.
Right.
Is when like things are really backwards.
Like you have to, like individual rights are incredibly important, but you have to be able to combine that with individual responsibility.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that people preach all the time and sometimes fail to recognize that they fail at is individual responsibility.
I think it just comes down to respect. Okay?
That as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, that's a big one.
I like to think of things in a simplistic light. Okay, if I have enough respect to wear a mask to protect myself and others, and you're making a choice to say, hey, I don't want to wear this mask, then please respect the people around you and not invade their personal space based off of your belief.
Right.
Okay, that's it. That's all we're asking.
Very simple.
Now, if you're now inviting someone's personal space because you believe this is a joke, now be prepared for the consequences of whatever that person's response is going to be, or that corporation's response is going to be too. Okay,
Right.
like I try to tell people this all the time. Okay, and this happened whenever the big cancel culture wave came in and started bodying people.
Yeah.
Is it's not that you can't say how you feel, okay?
Right.
It's never been about that, okay? You have the right to free speech. You can say and write and do whatever you want. But you also need to be able to accept the consequences and the responses given to whatever statement or action that you put into this world, okay?
Right. You have to be able to own up to it.
Yeah.
And there, once again, there can
unless
always
you're a
be-
politician.
Yeah. Unless you're a
Exactly.
politician.
Exactly.
I go
Unless you're a
back to the
politician.
previous podcast. I still think that if a politician tweets something, that should be their stance.
Yes.
It's canon.
Canon. It is
Canon.
official.
Yes.
It's political canon.
On the world of Twitter,
I can't wait for Disney to buy the American government and make the entire American history just America legends.
Oh
crazy.
God, yeah.
That'd be great.
that would be crazy.
George Washington, that fictional Jedi? No.
Oh, but
So Greg, what inspired you to get into like music and DJing? What was it a certain like individual, or like was it like the movement or the culture of it that you really sort of vibed with?
so I'm a lucky guy. Okay, I consider myself to be very blessed to have the life that I have.
Like your dad was a DJ, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So-
I saw videos of that. He's good.
Yes, being born in a family of musicians. My mother, she plays the bass, piano, and my father being a DJ. Growing up, like even as a baby, like my dad always said how I used to cry and bitch and moan until I could touch the records. So I kind of had to accept that was something that I was naturally drawn to, even as a babe. So I'm extremely lucky that I got to learn from my father and other old heads within the community.
Yeah.
Okay. So I basically learned on vinyl from my father.
It's such a great sound
yes.
too. That vinyl, like I have a record player in there, and even if I have Spotify in here,
Yeah.
if all of a sudden I want to listen to a track, I'm like, oh, let me whip out the record player. I'll listen to like a heavy metal record,
Yeah.
or like the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack that
Oh
just
my
came
God.
out.
Classic.
Yeah, I have it. I bought it day one, and I started playing it, and it's like jazz, it's blues, it's all these it's such good, it's so good, and it's such a great anime. One of the first I ever watched.
But to answer your question, it's mainly because I feel like my family has always been musically inclined, so I was naturally drawn to it.
Right.
My father had an approach with the craft, and that's what I call DJs, the craft. He didn't force us to do it. He just had it around, and if you were drawn to it,
He'll help you.
he'll help you.
Yeah.
Okay? Because you don't want to push something onto someone just because you do something. Like, even when I have kids, I'm not going to force them to DJ.
Right.
I'm going to be like, if you want to learn, you got a teacher and all the equipment that you need right here. But if you're okay just doing whatever the heck you want, I mean, like, be your own individual self.
Right.
The main thing that's drawn me to music is because I've always loved, like, just sounds, just those cues, and especially instruments, and seeing people tell their stories, tell their experience, and release like trauma, stress, pain through sounds,
especially in a live setting.
Yes.
Like
So,
living in a watching a album or listening to an album is great, but the live setting is so much more because you get to feel it, the bass pumping through the floor into your body. It's an entirely different experience.
I tell you, the best feeling in the world is playing someone's favorite song.
Yeah.
They rage, and then they notice 5 people in the room also get up at the same time.
Right.
And
now that's the one I was telling you about.
now that experience that they love, that they do in a closed setting, they're able to share that experience with other people who also love that song.
Yeah. I remember that vividly in a club on Halloween in sophomore year. I was having a really bad night.
Yeah.
There's this girl I was seeing that just like basically cut off with me, and I was like,
She was
fuck
an
it.
asshole.
Right.
Okay.
And so I was out with
Fuck her,
all
man.
these friends, and I was feeling bad, and I was drinking already, and then all of a sudden the DJ started to play this fucking remix of Smells Like Teen Spirit. And all of a sudden I'm just like, I scream like, holy shit. And then like there's like 4 people that are around me go like they look at me and they have that insane connection. It's like, fuck yeah. And that night goes from a 2 to a 10. Literally
Instantly.
as soon as I hear that fucking bass, a bow, wow, and I'm like, fuck yeah. It was amazing. Yes. And I'm screaming at the top of my fucking lungs. And it's a great experience to feel.
It's just a sense of community. For me, the main reason why I do it today is because I was inspired by the craft. Okay. Yeah. And it comes from a place of understanding the type of person that I am. Okay. And again, I think of things in a simplistic form. Okay. I feel that there are only 2 type of people in this world. Okay. Everyone starts off as a consumer. Right. Okay. We consume media, food, other attributes, people's time, energy. And we contribute, but on a very, very small scale. We go to school, we clean up, do chores, we get a job, okay? You're only contributing a little bit, okay? But once you decide to finally start giving back to the things that inspire you, then you become a contributor.
Right.
Okay? And as a contributor, all right, you're looking to not only pay homage to what has inspired you, you're looking to praise, uplift, and add to that thing as well.
To carry on that legacy.
Yes, to carry on, to keep the torch, to keep the spark alive.
Yeah.
Okay? And there are not too many people who are willing to contribute to the things that they love. Mm-hmm. All right, especially on a substantial in a substantial scale. You're not supposed to contribute to everything. You get that's the best part of being a human being is that we can choose exactly what we want to contribute to in this life.
Yeah.
Okay, and I chose music.
Yeah,
and I chose being a DJ, just like everyone else can choose whatever the fuck they want. I just want someone to make a goddamn choice,
right,
and stop like making excuses. And belittling their ability as a human being. Like, if there are people in this life, okay, who can't walk, can't even move their fucking hands, but they are still able to contribute to something that they fucking love.
Yeah.
What excuse do you have?
Yeah.
And I hate when I hate when people try to say, but my anxiety, my trauma, I get it. I get it. Get yourself some fucking help. Not saying that it's not available to you. Get some help. Try to start solving those problems for yourself, okay? Like, I'm not saying that you're not broken. I'm not saying that you don't have issues. We all have problems. We all have pain. We all suffer. But what I'm trying to say is, what are you willing to do to bring the best qualities of yourself to something that you love, okay?
That also fulfills you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, fulfillment is something that you're constantly, it's a glass half full, right. All right? Like, you should never be full, but you should always be
wanting to
content, you know, with where you are and where you're going in life, okay? Because if you can't be happy about where you are and understand the blessings that God and this universe has provided to you, then how do you seek to elevate from where you are today? Okay, without first appreciating what you are and where you at and what people that you have in your life now. Okay, don't sit on your ass forever and be like, this is enough for me. But I'm like, find some things and some people who are going to recharge your creative batteries and put you back out there on that journey so you can start contributing to the things that you love. Because as a contributor, man, it's completely different. The world is completely different because now you're looking at the world as something that you can just continuously give to, and you're open to what the world is willing to bring and give you back for the effort that you were able to put out. Because remember, to be a consumer is to also technically be a contributor in some sense of the form, because they can't they can't consume media without first giving you some money.
Yeah.
Can't consume food without giving you some money.
Yeah.
So, I feel like the sooner you get to the point and you build the confidence to start contributing to the thing you love, the better. And when it comes to DJing, for me, I realized at an early age that I wanted to give back to the thing that gave me life.
Okay.
And since DJing gave me life, gave me this creative spark, I want to DJ in every aspect of my being. Okay. So
that's a good way to put it.
That's kind of why I DJ. I DJ because I love people, I love music, and I love the environment. And I love that freedom that you get when you hear that song and you release that stress for someone. And you allow them to let their guard down and meet people and put them together, or potentially, have someone having one night stand and have a kid out of wedlock. But it's like, it's a part of the job.
It's like, I don't know who you are, but I want to put a baby in you right now.
Exactly. It's like, God, this DJ, you're going to be pregnant tonight. Don't worry.
And I've seen I've seen shows that where DJs can really make or break it, but I also have seen these stresses that a DJ has, not just from stuff that they do, but just the crowd just makes things insanely more difficult.
Yes.
So I wanted to show you something that's some examples of DJs having a bit of a trouble, not just from their own mistakes, but from other people.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So from the first one is this one right here. I call this one "Drop the Beat."
Drop the beat.
Yes. So their steam's going. Everyone's having a great time.
Okay.
And then.
Oh.
So what do you think was the main mistake right there?
So the main mistake right there is that they put that table too close to the edge of the stage. All right, so some people get really excited whenever they're finally on the big stage, okay? And they're like, yo, I want to be as close to the crowd as possible to get some good footage. But if your table's close to the edge,
right,
you start jumping up and down. You don't know how stable the stage is. One simple little push and all your equipment topples over to the front.
It's expensive shit.
And the show... The show is either kind of delayed for at least 10 to 20 minutes because you got to salvage and pick up all your shit.
Yeah.
Or it's canceled because of everything's broken. Not only did you waste their time and money, now you got to spend $2,800 to replace all the gear that you just busted. All right?
Yeah.
So that was just a mistake on a rookie standpoint of putting your table way too fucking close to the stage.
I've had nightmares of another guy here, AJ, of knocking some drink over and just covering either this laptop or this in something.
Why do you think he would do that? It's going to happen. It's not an if.
I know.
It's a win.
I was funny you brought that up. I was literally thinking about this table and how to stabilize it because it needs some serious stabilization.
It does. It's
all you need to do is grab a couple of metal bars that go from one end goes like that to one of those, and the other way.
Right.
And then it'll stop that wobble.
Secure each end of the table. Pole here, here, and here.
Yeah. I can drill it easily. It's the fact that they're using bar legs, which is a bit of a thing, which I got for free.
I think you guys are all wrong about this table. I think we need to get 4 wires, hang it from the ceiling.
Oh God! It's just gonna
swing. He's not wrong.
Swing.
He's not wrong.
No,
it's gonna swing.
You don't understand tension. And then you get 4 more and you put it to the ceiling.
Each wire is going to hold the other wire up.
That's how it works.
That's how that works.
That's true.
All right, I also gotta go soon though.
Okay, that's fine. So at what, 5 o'clock?
We got 10 minutes left. You don't love us anymore.
Yeah. So,
Daddy, Chad, don't leave.
What, Chad? What do you got going on tonight? Big important day.
Chaddy
Date
wasn't
night?
there.
I'm gonna go home make dinner.
Gotcha.
I know, right?
Crazy.
Crazy.
For me, what you making, baby? What's up?
What are you making?
Mac and cheese. Why you want some? I think.
I love some mac and cheese.
I think.
You're asking a So
I might make some hot dogs too.
Ooh.
Why?
So
Gotta eat something.
So, like I said, in the entire scene of what a DJ's got going on, he's got a million things going on. He's got to make sure his tracks are lined up correctly. He's got to make sure that he's not misstepping. He's got the right CD put in. So this one is basically, I call it the perfect transition.
Ooh, let me see this.
So the beat's going, he's building, and he realizes he fucked up right here. He's like, oh, that was not what I planned.
It worked.
Yeah, but he might be able to make it work right there.
Nah, he just gotta go with it. This is great.
I mean, you're committed at this point.
Yeah, he's just like, fuck it, make it happen.
Like, there's some times, like, even I'm
mad it cut off before the drop. The good part was coming up.
Evan, this is what we were talking about earlier, how like those situations where you only learn how to recover from a bomb after bombing. We only learn how to recover from that shit after making that mistake. And I've made that mistake so many times, and I'm gonna still make that mistake. Like, that's just one of those things. It's gonna happen.
Right.
And when it happens, don't beat yourself up about it. Just say, oh, fuck, I fucked up. Let's just move on.
Like, what are you going to do? Like, start unplugging your shit?
He's gonna be like, all right, it's time to go. I'm sorry, guys.
You play the record scratch sound. You got the big red button.
He gets on the mic. He gets on the mic. He's like, all right, guys, due to this fuck up, I quit for the remainder of the night. I know I've only been DJing for 5 minutes.
My equipment is up for grabs.
So it's all about how you react, right?
Yeah.
Well, this guy did not react as well to this one. Now, this one, I might give him some credit. Like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but this one wasn't as good of an ending. Hold up.
What the fuck?
Oh! And here comes the DJ. He goes,
all right.
I'd be pissed as fuck.
Perfectly acceptable.
That is fair and balanced.
Yeah.
Because I would also beat his ass.
I think that guy might have gone underboard.
I would have drug him from underneath the table, beat his ass, then beat his ass again outside, then call the cops and press charges and sue him.
I would have dragged him to the hospital, gotten my doctorate, healed him. Just so I could beat his ass again.
But that right there is every DJ's worst nightmare.
I can only imagine, dude. Holy fuck.
We deal with so much bullshit.
Yeah.
From our audience. I love people. Bro. I love my audience. But you guys are fucking assholes sometimes, bro.
Now, like, how irritating is it for people to constantly come and request shit?
So there's nothing wrong. See,
play Pony. It's by Genuine.
For me, being a DJ also means you have to accept that you're working. Technically, you work in the service business,
right? You're constantly doing crowd work
industry. Okay, so you're pertaining. You're trying to cater to your crowd. But the way that I do it, before I even start set, I say, "Hey guys, I take requests, but if it's bad, I'm not gonna play it."
Right.
Okay. I set the expectations for my crowd.
Okay. Well, this guy needed to set lower ones because this is the final one. This is the final one. This one I call it "Don't Bother Me." The drunk girl irritating and bothering him.
I don't know, he pauses the music to yell at her.
Right. Apparently, she had been bothering him for a while. And the crowd even went with him.
Yeah, because
So we're
like,
like,
some
fuck
people,
that.
some people, I'm not gonna lie. There's some customers and some people in the audience that just believe that this song has to be played. I'm here. I have to hear Talladega Nights, Raining Sorrow by Michigan Gates. I have to hear that. If I don't, this fucking place sucks. Like, I just don't want any part of it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
this is not the place for this song.
Plus, if you're drunk, you're just like, oh my god, listen, you gotta trust me on this.
It goes like
It will work. It will work. This crowd think it's fucking.
You're like, no, this is how they really come. They really come. Hi, oh my God, I really love what you do. Can I please hear some Britney Spears Toxic? I just, like, me and my girlfriends, like, this is like a 50-year-old lady. I remember being in grad school and hearing this song, and I just really, like my girls will go crazy.
Yeah. I remember my snack break hearing this song.
Like the girls are like,
and I'm like,
two of them are passed out.
like, you're right, like
over there, those ones.
Yeah.
like we're in a club full of like 600 people, and there's like 5 people in the corner. They're like, hi. I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not playing Toxic right now. Like,
Yeah.
Like, no.
I just played it.
Or someone,
You're in the bathroom. Yeah, you were in the bathroom.
or someone who gets pissed at you because you didn't play the song that they requested. They're like, well, you're a fucking sucky DJ. I've never heard a DJ this bad before. I'm like, I am not playing fucking Cotton Eye Joe.
I knew it. I knew that was
I hear every DJ needs
You
to play
live
it.
down here, Greg. You live down in
I'm
the
not
South.
playing
It happens.
What do you
No.
mean?
What do
There's
you
a
mean? That
difference.
was at my high school dance every year.
Every
and
dance.
That
was at my prom.
Every fucking dude, everybody I knew that dance, and I looked like an outcast because I didn't, and it was kind of weird watching them all dance with like no facial expression whatsoever. Their faces change, their eyes go dead, and they just start dancing the Cotton Eye Joe.
My other
Their
favorite one.
faces go dead. They're robots all of a sudden.
My other favorite one is the.
Where did you come from?
Where did you go?
What's that song that's like in left foot stomp and right foot stomp?
Oh, that's the cha-cha song.
Cha-cha,
yeah, the cha-cha song.
My other favorite is getting in, watching that whole group of people do the cha-cha, and there's like 5 or 6 people, always white, that can't ever get it right.
Always white.
And
Yes.
left foot stomp, they're like touching their head.
Yes.
We said foot stomp, not head pat. Like, come on, Martha.
To the left, to the left, to the
Yeah.
left, to the
They do
left.
this thing, they're like,
Is that guy that does
Yeah, they're
those
looking
left or
around.
right?
They're looking around, making sure they get it right. Dude, I was at a wedding in February.
I don't even need to
And it
go
was
out
that
to that.
exact
I've
same
already
thing.
gotten the experience.
exactly. I brought the party to you.
brought the
Like,
party.
what do we do with the break it down now, y'all part? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Chad, I
Everybody thinks you're
I had a
supposed to
question.
freestyle. You're not.
got a question for Chad. So, like,
up?
Chad, you look like someone who would be a great DJ. Let me tell you why.
I would play light classic rock the whole night.
Acoustic versions of everything.
Let me tell you why. Because
Everyone would be visibly upset and I wouldn't care.
that's the reason why. Because, like, Chad would have the balls to be like, hi, can you play? No. Did you read the sign? And there's like a sign in
Don't
front of
talk
his
to the
table
DJ.
that says, I do not take requests. If you talk to me, I will cuss you out.
Don't make me tap the sign.
I'm in a glass box on stage.
Riot police surrounding you.
You got security. You have them beat down anyone who gets close and tries to ask you to play a song. You're just like, and then there's like 2 big buff guys who just pick them up and like take them outside, out back.
He's like Dead
Rough
Mouse.
him up.
He's like Dead Mouse, except for the mouse head. It's just a giant middle finger.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh yeah.
It's just the NPR fucking soundtrack on repeat.
Oh my God, Greg, it's been awesome having you in, man. I gotta have you in again.
Of course.
I
Yeah,
do need.
you can substitute for everybody anytime.
Yeah.
We actually do need more people in the rotation though.
It could be because I've got a few people lined up, but Greg, I will need your help on one thing. Is that I have 4 more slots on that record wall, right there, and it's got a bit of an eclectic mix of stuff. But I have
it's a real original.
I have a stack of records in the living room. I need you to help me pick out one to put on the wall.
Okay. I got your back.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Oh. I got it. I'm excited. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Greg, plug your social media. What do you got for us?
You can find me on Instagram at DJ_NOR_WAY.
DJ Norway.
Once you see the raccoon head, you'll know it's me.
If you found a squirrel, you've gone too far.
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
Trash
guys.
pandas for life.
Yes. Once again, guys, if you haven't seen this on YouTube yet, you've got to click on YouTube instead of the audio link. Definitely check out the video link. It's definitely a lot more fun, a lot more interactive. If you want to check out our merch store, we've got a merch store on our website at mookscast.com. We want to thank you guys once again for listening. Greg,
It's good stuff.
it's been fun to have you on, man. I can't wait to have you on again, brother.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much. Awesome. Oh, that was great, dude.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
That was fun as fuck.
Smoking dope, baby.
Oh, all right. I need to drink some water before I
You're all gonna be mad at me. God damn it, Chad.